In the Unresolved Problems segment tonight, Donald Trump versus Jeb Bush. Now, there's no hiding the animosity between Bush and Trump on the campaign trail, as the Washington Post made very clear in this montage.
This is a guy who was a Democrat for most of the last decade.
For him to get things done is hard.
And if he was interested in a more comprehensive approach, he might want to read my book, Immigration Wars, which I published 4 years ago.
But I think Bush is an unhappy person. I don't think he has any energy, and I don't see how he can win.
You win when you connect with people about their aspirations, not about how great you are, how rich you are, how this you are, how that you are. That's not leadership.
He's weak on immigration. He's in favor of Common Core. How the hell can you vote for this guy?
So he's doing this to inflame and to incite and to draw attention, which seems to be his organizing principle of his campaign.
You know what's happening to Jeb's crowd, as you know, right down the street? They're sleeping. They're sleeping now.
I appreciate the fact that Mr. Trump now has a plan, if that's what it's called.
And when they give $5 million or $2 million or $1 million to Jeb, they have him just like a puppet.
We're going to win when we're hopeful and optimistic and big and broad rather than, just angry all the time.
With us now from Los Angeles, the Washington Post national political reporter Robert Costa, who's been reporting on the Trump-Bush feud. So, Robert, why don't Trump and Jeb like each other?
Well, there have been moments of warmth between Trump and the Bush family. In 1988, Trump had a fundraiser for George H.W. Bush at the Plaza Hotel in New York. In 1997, Trump had a fundraiser for Jeb Bush, brought Jeb up to Trump Tower. But those have been countered by lots of fierce criticism from Trump. He went against Bush 41 on the No New Taxes pledge, and he really broke with George W. Bush on the Iraq War. And ever since then, over the past decade, it's been pretty acrimonious.
So we had to go back 27 years to get the time that they actually got along. Money. So Jeb Bush is raising a lot of money. Donald Trump has a lot of money. Trump has poll numbers. Jeb is looking for poll numbers. How does this play out? How does the money factor play out?
The money factor's critical for Bush because though he's slipped in the polls, his campaign really believes, because his super PAC is sitting out there with $100 million, when it comes crunch time, January and February of next year, he'll be able to go on the airwaves, perhaps attack Trump if necessary, at least tell the Jeb Bush story. Trump, however, doesn't feel like Jeb Bush's financial advantage matters too much. Because he goes on television so often, he doesn't think he needs to spend much money on television ads.
He's pretty right about that, but he also says he's quick to tell you he has a lot of money, and he does. But I got to tell you, to reach in your own pocket, that ain't as easy as it sounds.
Right, and this is something Trump's campaign is grappling with. I checked in with Trump and his advisors this week, and they said they're okay with these new super PACs starting up to try to help Trump. Because if this campaign truly is moving toward the nomination, he's going to need grassroots efforts on the ground in Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, and he's eventually going to need some kind of television presence beyond the interviews. That's in motion, though he's a little bit behind some of the other more professional, operative-run campaigns.
Mm-hmm. Jeb Bush, I noticed, is kind of taking a different tack lately. He's attacking Donald Trump. I think he said on the stump this week, talking is not leadership, doing is leadership. Is this a new strategy, and what do you think of that strategy?
It is a new strategy, and I'll tell you one group that's happy with Jeb Bush's aggression, Bush donors. They wanted to see some fight from Jeb Bush. They see him getting pummeled by Trump day in, day out, and they're asking themselves, and they're telling the press, when's Bush going to really punch back? They like that Bush is doing that. However, there's a political risk, because if you go after Trump, look at Rick Perry, Lindsey Graham. They went after Trump, and they fell in the polls pretty sharply. So it's an uneven territory to go down.
So I interviewed Donald Trump, and I went through the list of candidates, and at the time, Jeb Bush was right there. I think he may have been ahead of Donald Trump, or right neck and neck. And I went through. When he got to Bush, I said, "What's the one word you associate with Bush?" And he said, "Low energy." And I scratched my head, like, low energy. What is he going for with this? And I noticed this has been it's been on his stump, speech after speech. Jeb Bush, low energy. What does that mean?
There's actually a strategy behind the attack on Bush's low energy. Trump's people tell me that in 2008 and 2012, the one thing that really irritated conservatives is they didn't feel Senator McCain or Mitt Romney went hard enough after President Obama. They didn't think the aggression was there in the general election on some certain key issues. What Trump is signaling to conservative activists is, I will bring it to the Democratic nominee in a different way. I will be high energy in a way the other nominees, as you see it, have been low energy.
Gotcha. Very good piece, by the way, in the Washington Post. Thank you very much, Mr. Costa.
Thanks.
Plenty more ahead as the factor moves along this evening. The candidates who aren't Donald Trump vie for the spotlight. Also, Joe Biden isn't even in the race, but does he have Hillary Clinton on the ropes? We hope you stick around for those reports.